Syracuse Minoa Central High School, Eddie Michaelenko, and I want to thank him for where he is. Okay, thank you for hosting us here today. This is a difficult day. I just walked through the halls of this great school, had a chance to engage with some really smart young people who are so excited and energetic and happy to be back at school with an extraordinary teacher teaching them coding and teaching them cyber and teaching them everything they need to know in the space of computer science. But you turn on the news and you are stunned to see yet another school shooting in the United States of America. It hurts on so many levels. As a parent who for many years sent my children off to school, I know the inherent anxiety as soon as your beloved children are out of your sight. And then to see news stories where a 14-year-old has access to an assault-style weapon, a military-style assault weapon. How he got his hands on that remains a question. But to gun down students in a school, 2 students, 2 adults, wounding 9 more, we've had enough. This nation has seen enough. We have done a lot in the state of New York to protect our citizens from gun violence. We have tough laws, some of the toughest in the nation. We feel confident that they do protect our citizens, and especially the enhancements we made in the aftermath of the brutal slaying of 10 Western New Yorkers shopping at a Tops grocery store. Many of them are my neighbors. We enhanced our red flag laws. Red flag laws are the early warning system that is necessary for law enforcement to understand that there could be someone who would do harm to themselves or to others and intervene before you have a tragedy like we saw in Georgia, where they can appeal to getting if there's access to guns, getting them out of the hands of an individual who could do harm to others. That should be a national policy. There should be a national red flag law or extreme risk order of protection. We have issued over 20,000 in the state of New York in the last 2 years. That's up from about 1,000 before we changed the law and put the onus on law enforcement to really engage and be held responsible for taking the steps necessary. When the red flag is risen, go to that person's home, see if there's access to guns, see what they're saying online. Do everything you can to preemptively, proactively prevent violence and the slaughter of innocent citizens, especially our children in schools. We also need a national assault weapons ban. We had one in place. We'll never know how many lives were saved because we did not have them so readily accessible, where an 18-year-old in New York State could walk into a store and buy it on his birthday. We have to regain our sensibilities here in America. We really do. And that's what I'm calling for, national action. I know that the Biden-Harris administration wants to do more. I know that the Senate, led by Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, wants to do more. And I'm calling on the Republican-led House of Representatives to stop putting up roadblocks to saving children's lives. How many more deaths will it take? How many more wake-up calls do we have to have? How many more times do we have to turn on a television and just have that gut-wrenching feeling in our hearts that something has to change, and it hasn't. So coming to a school today brings all that to mind for me. It's been a great experience coming here, seeing young people in a safe environment, a learning environment, a place they're going to learn skills that are going to help them step into the jobs. They're not that far off in the future. This is what Micron has done. Just 2 years ago, October 2022, we announced the deal. They were coming here. The support of the Biden administration, the Harris administration, working together with us here in New York to create the incentives necessary to say this is the largest private sector investment in American history. It's going to happen right in the heart of our state, in central New York. It's changed everything. And so what we also have to do, we have to change as well. And that means changing the curriculum we're teaching in the schools in the surrounding area. And that's exactly what's happening here at this high school. And Micron is working with us. We've committed $4 million. We've partnered with the teachers union to say, let's move quickly, let's move with urgency to start making sure that the schools where we're more likely to draw applicants from in the next couple of years in the Syracuse area, that those students are ready and educated. They have great teachers here. I saw that in action. Saw the way he inspired these young people to think, be creative, solve problems, and to be ready for those jobs that are waiting for them. So I want to thank everyone for inviting me here today. We also had a chance to sign a number of bills that'll make it easier for parents and young people to pay for higher education. Use your 529 plans, which you start saving as early as you possibly can, using them to help pay off student loans. I think it's great. I want to thank our local representatives for helping support that. Also, having students involved in the governing process, the political process, allowing non-voting students to participate on school boards across the state of New York. What an education and democracy that'll be for them. Hopefully inspiring them to know that each of us have a right of citizenship to participate in, whether it's school boards, town boards, higher office. Everyone has a responsibility, and at minimum, responsibility to vote. And also making sure that the Central Tech High School is renamed as the Syracuse STEAM School. I've toured this facility. It's come a long way. It is going to be an epicenter of engagement and opportunities for students, as well as we try to inspire more people to go into these fields. So it was a great day here, East Syracuse, Manoa Central Schools. It's been very welcoming. I thank you, Superintendent, thank our principal, and thank everyone once again. So any questions?
We'll start with on-topic questions. Any on-topic?
Governor, the 10 school districts that are going to be participating in getting the micron related training, who pays for that training?
This was part state, part Micron. They stepped up, and again, the UFT, the United Teachers, as well as NICET, they also said that we want our teachers trained so they can teach the skills to young people, and that's what's happening right now. It's happening in our high schools. I'd like to take it to lower levels as well to create that spark of interest, and where young people can see themselves in these great careers. A lot of these jobs are not going to require higher education based on what they're going to be learning in their high schools. That's what's so exciting about this.
Is that coming out of that community investment fund?
They dedicated money directly. I don't know if it's from that fund directly or just it's an additional amount. I can find that out for you.
Do you know if it's 50-50 state?
I know combined it's $4 million. We can get the $4 million, yeah.
$4 million.
Mm-hmm.
On another education issue, I know you're still having listening sessions on the whole self-help program, but are you looking at how this is going to be in the budget? Are you going to be standalone? Have you thought about how to roll this out?
I'm excited that there's going to be a summit on this September 20th in Albany, sponsored by NICET, teachers unions, as well as others, to bring together all the stakeholders. I'll be participating in that. And so that is one more data point I want to have, is the ideas that teachers and administrators and superintendents have about how to operationalize a statewide policy. And there's a lot of lessons to be learned from what other schools have already done across the country, but even here in the state of New York. Schoharie as well is one example just outside of Albany. We listened to them in one of our first sessions, and some schools are purchasing the bags that are magnetic and concealed at the beginning part of the day and unlock them at the end of the day. There's other schools that are just saying don't bring them to school at all. So I want to see, I'm learning more about what policies are there, but in order to be a policy for the state, we would have to wait to the legislative session and to enact it there.
So through the budget or like in June?
I would like to move faster. It could be budget, but it even could be before the budget. If there's sufficient interest, they actually can pass bills, and I can sign them very early in the session as well. That's also a possibility.
So like in early January?
That's a possibility. I mean, we'll see what is other areas we have to find common ground, if there's any obstacles, and I'm working on that now already. So I would like to start off early. But the other thing that's important is to start the engagement with parents very early. So I would say, especially after this summit on the 20th, we'll be announcing where we're likely to go. I would say it's important for parents to start, school districts start hosting forums with parents, allow there to be conversations with other school districts who have done it, let them know what they were worried about and how they overcame them, but also law enforcement. We need to invite law enforcement in to talk to parents and school districts about how, in their best judgment, if there is a crisis that unfolds in the school, that you want these students to be focused 100% on the adult in the room who's going to lead them to safety. Going on your cell phone, texting friends, capturing video, this could all put them in harm's way. And that's a strong message that I heard as I did these roundtables, and I want to make sure every parent hears and understands. So there's still a process involved, but I feel even more committed than I did at the beginning of this process after all the stories I've heard from frustrated teachers, anxious parents, and teenagers who are asking us to help save them from themselves.
We have time for one more, Stefan.
Governor Dykstra recently released a report that the state really isn't on track for some of these climate initiative goals. Are you going to push some of those timelines or deadlines back, and when would we expect that?
I was really excited to be here today in Central New York once again. I was here last week for the State Fair. Today, at the Hotel Syracuse, we had the Future Energy Economy Summit. We had over 200 people. We had to stop the enrollees. We could have had 1,000 people because so many people are interested in striking the right balance between fostering the economic growth and supporting companies like Micron and our artificial intelligence initiatives, but also how we're going to generate more power to meet that demand. So this has all changed since the laws were put into place, as well as a pandemic that disrupted the supply chain. Inflation made the prices much higher, and some of the RFPs were no longer effective because they were not going to cover the costs. But also, I'm concerned about affordability. I want to make sure that we're not increasing costs for consumers. So all of these are factored into it, but I am committed to those climate goals 100%. I said this in my remarks this morning. We will find a path. We're going to look at an all-the-above approach and consider other options as well. And I'm excited about this. We asked all those leaders of industry and labor, public sector, private sector, experts out of Washington. Right now, they're convening to help us solve this problem, to keep us on track to meet those goals that are designed to protect our planet and make a healthier future for our children.
And last question will go.
Sorry, just to follow up, does that include the electrified school bus fleets for districts across the state?
Those are continuing, very much so. We can get you numbers on how many have already been electrified, but those are the goals that we're electrifying: building, heat pumps, all those objectives are underway right now. So I feel really good about this. We have ambitious goals, but that's what New York does. We set our goals high. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
There's a lot of confusion out there. So I know you're still listening, you're still going to get this summit. Are you calling for an outright ban in phones in schools? And can you talk about what you're actually calling for?
That's what we're looking to, that's part of our listening process. I have personally received enough information for me to believe that we're going to need a ban. School districts have asked for this, students have asked for this, parents have asked for this, and we just have to work out a lot of the mechanics of how this will happen. This will take the pressure off of individual school districts. I have heard from many superintendents who say, this is hard, it's a lot for us to handle in light of our responsibilities, and are asking the state to come up with a policy with their engagement that'll be effective. So that's the path we're looking at, but I also have a lot of stakeholders, and I have to work with the legislature, so we will get to a point where I can announce with finality what we're going for. I still want to continue hearing more voices.
Thank you,
All
everybody.
right, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
That's fine.
All right. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.